That girl who understands why we can't have nice things. I don't know if that is a saying in your country, but it certainly is a saying in my country. When you see something that's gone wrong, and then we can all blame it and have the sort of this hashtag slogan, and this is why we can't have good things, right? So usually it's funny because it's kind of, the kids have drawn on the carpet with paint or something, right? Hashtag, and this is why we can't have good things. And so, it's all laughable and cute when it's, someone else's house and someone else's children, right? And someone else's carpet, hilariously funny. And so what on earth does this mean for us is what you're pondering, I'm sure, right now. What is happening? So I just did a big session this morning. And it's like, once you feel like you've sort of put certain collectives to bed, got them into this beautiful unity and empowered them to be able to see things from different perspectives, right? Like, I can't take any credit on that at all, nor would I try to, because I know that it was those collectives, that collective chose to do it by themselves, right? They were just given different angles and different perspectives that they hadn't quite sort of seen or sensed before. And once they realized that, when they came together, a little powwow, they actually realized that their hopes and dreams and focus forward for their collective wasn't actually the same as all of their collective, right? So they had that profound experience, and we instantly saw big things happening around the world as this shift in consciousness with an open heart was projected out, and you could see it in some people that we know through sessions who are attached to the reptilian collective. And so it's very interesting to see sudden changes of businesses and a whole lot of other stuff. So fantastic times, right? Fantastic times. So just when you feel like it's all boxed up beautifully and we can jump forward, we get to hear about a menacing little new community of collectives. Again, we always knew about these guys, but we just assumed that they would behave potentially in our perspective, our 3D perspective. And so when we tapped into figuring out what's going on for these people and why, certain people, that's for sure, they've been infiltrated again by the draconians. So yay, fantastic, right? And this is why humanity doesn't get to have good things, right? So yeah, super lame dad joke on my behalf, but it just feels so disappointing that certain beings are infiltrating certain other beings and manipulating and coercing these things. But of course, we can trust all is purposeful, all is significant, all has lessons for growth and opportunities to expand upon. We've heard this. We've heard all of that. We understand it. We totally get it. So what next? What are we supposed to do? Well, we're not supposed to really get too distracted. And we also need to really notice what we're listening to. Like, seriously, take attention now. You almost want to protect your ears, because a lot of people who have now recovered from verbal abuse, your ears are more open to being vulnerable to certain frequencies, certain sounds that may actually aggravate you versus empower you. And so, I'll just watch this random influencer. How can it harm me? I just said. So it's very interesting how when humanity is starting to empower itself and evolve and get high frequency, this is a concern for another collective who doesn't want that, right? They don't want us to succeed. They don't want us to thrive. They don't want us to grow and empower and evolve. And it bothers them. So much so that they'll go quite out of their way to just be assholes, right? So, we've all experienced those kind of people before. So, there's that. So it's interesting. So got a more a more detailed account of what they're trying to do and how they're trying to hijack not only the event, but also to get to the new earth and to be able to peacefully reside in the new earth. So, you know, our collectives, the Arcturians, are just quite fed up with it. But, you know, they're taking it very seriously. They've worked so incredibly hard for this long. They don't want anything to go wrong. And so they're taking their due diligence time to be able to get it going. So, you know, there was lots to be said about the agendas for the Draconians, which is very frustrating. But, you know, free will. And when I kept asking, can we block people's ears so they don't hear this frequency that does really just it bottoms out your vibrations really deeply, and you don't get it. It's not like someone saying you look shit in that shirt, lose some weight, tubby, exercise, and you know you're a piece of shit and you're definitely alone, no one loves you. Like, it's not going to be those words. It's not going to be actual words. It's going to be like sounds of music or some sort of jingles or something just in the background of something you're going to be watching. We know, I've seen it many times where people pretend to do light language, right? It is not empowering you at all. It's actually fucking dangerous. And I have tapped in and tuned in, and I've had my Arcturians channel the information of what the codes are. And you may look like a fucking piece of beautiful love and light person who is just a gift to humanity, but your fucking codes are fucking dangerous and you don't know what you're fucking playing with. And so you're calling in and attracting all these people to come listen to you, be this big light worker, you know, giving these beautiful, pure light light activation codes. And it sounds all fantastic, right? Who doesn't want to be upgraded? Oh, me, please, please, please. That sounds amazing. It's free. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Oh, we can be a great community together. Fantastic. Sign me up for everything. And then you go and listen to these light language codes that are supposed to empower you and upgrade you. And guess what, people? Guess what? Guess what you're listening to? Guess what you're exposing yourself to? If you do not come away from those sessions feeling uplifted, super high vibrational, jazz handsing or whatever, and pure love and pure ecstasy and pure enlightenment and just so supercharged, you can totally vacuum and clean and do a whole lot of other sort of stuff because you're super high vibrational or something else. Do you feel like you're stuffed and unwell and needing a nap? Like, listen to your bodies, see what you're doing, because oh my gosh, it upsets me because I know you guys are wanting the best for yourselves and you're trusting, oh, if I'm just, you know, oh my gosh, they said this is, you know, it's not a coincidence, but we're here today because I want to empower you, blah, 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 blah. They're selling you bullshit. Okay, so why don't you go and listen to nature, and why don't you go listen to yourself more than exposing yourself to something that's fucking dangerous to you? Don't want to scare you, blah, 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 blah. Let's be mature about it, right? But you're using your free will to actually put yourself into harm's way and to be able to listen to information and density and sounds and the frequencies that do not serve you. And for those people who are like, oh, no, I remember this one time I was listening to a light language and I just felt like it was empty codes, or it just wasn't, I just felt like it was, I mean, I used to be a real asshole and be like, if they've got their tits hanging out and they're full of makeup and they're in a seductive bedroom scene and there's beautiful lighting and they're kind of, you know, you don't know whether you're just about to watch porn or whether you're just about to watch a light language thing, you know, something's going to fuck with you and it's not going to be good. Yeah, but that's just me being very worried that there are so many influencers that don't have even the clue what they're doing. And so they just feel like they've been guided to do this. And this is just so special, magical, and so wonderful that people are having these uploads. And I'm just going to do some random sounds because it makes my tongue feel good. And I'm just a gift to humanity, blah, 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 blah. And they've done a course and a one-day course. And so they believe in themselves so much that they're going to then just promote all of this stuff out. And it's so, I mean, it's cool. If it makes you feel good and you feel fantastic afterwards, fantastic. I love that for you. But please, 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 please just be really mindful of what you're exposing yourselves to. And the sounds won't be people talking in English. It's coded stuff. And so this is came pretty strong in the session today, which always bothers me because I just feel like, oh no, everyone's vulnerable victims. This is horrible. We've just healed everyone's ears to listen to stuff. And now they're going to listen to that shit. And that like upsets me. And I kind of feel like I put in so much dedication to be able to try and find ways to be able to help humanity and working together with all these collectives. And then there is these 3D ego bullshit con artists that are playing with stuff they should never be playing with. And it's kind of like, why don't it's just so frustrating sometimes, because it's like, what's the point? What's the point of me trying to do all of this work and try help and be, you know, connected into these collectives and be able to empower people when they're just going and then, you know, not knowing that all this other stuff that they do as well, and most of humanity is doing stuff that's not empowering them. It just kind of, yeah, it's just those moments where I just think, oh, there's just no point. It's just, might as well just, you know, use my time wisely and do something else, because people aren't hearing the significance of having your own sessions. People aren't hearing that you can't just listen to everything and have all of your stepping stones all in unison. You actually have to make a choice and a decision what empowers you, and then start empowering yourself. Because when you are constantly seeking out other leaders or other influencers or people to tell you what to think and feel and to do things, you're really just empowering yourself, because your subconscious knows more than everyone. So, you know, and even if I was trying to mansplain what your subconscious was trying to let you know, my translation of that, what it would look like and feel like for you, may not be the exact key for you to understand what they're trying to say. And so this is why when you translate in your own subconscious, it's perfect, it's profound, it's exactly what they want you to know and hear. Then are you going to trust that? Then are you going to imply that? You know, it's hard work and I understand it, but yeah, please, please, please just check in with yourselves. If you can't hear what they're saying, feel in, does this feel right to me? Does this feel good? Because sometimes we're so confused. We're like, they look legitimate. They sound, I think, legitimate. It sounds light languagey. I don't know what's in this, but I just trust it's for my good, because they just told me it's for my good, and I'm going to be really empowered, and I'm going to be healed and superhero and a unicorn, blah, 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 blah. Right. So I understand that when they're selling you this experience that sounds all fantastic and it's everything you've ever needed and more, trust them. It's really I don't know, I'm really sensitive about it, so sorry for my mega rant, but when it comes through a session I just get super triggered, because it's like, this is why we can't have good things in this world, because of people's egos and stuff. So anyway, you know, I want everyone to be empowered, and I don't want anyone to be disempowered anymore. We've done that. It's so fucking untrendy right now. Right? What's trendy right now is self-love, self-empowerment, and actually realizing that we have to do our inner work to be able to be of true service for others. So, you know, there's that. Another thing that the subconscious said when I asked was, who wants to come through in a session to be channeled to give a message to humanity? And the subconscious said Ra does. Ra wants to come in to be able to hold up a mirror for recognition, to send love to those who need love, to be reminding everyone that we are all one, and to forgive ourselves and to forgive others, and to have as much faith and trust in them as they have as much faith and trust in us. It was a big, long statement that they said. I just sort of jotted down a few words that I was trying to hear from them so I could remember what they're really wanting us to know right now. It seems like they are also very frustrated with people using their names and not sharing their full messages. because, you know, who would like that? Would you like someone to quote you and fuck up your message, or manipulate your message, or whatever, you know? So they're trying really hard, and I think they're also getting really frustrated that people are distracting many others through their own egos. So try not to be distracted if that's possible. You know, because everything seems to be quite interesting right now. So we feel like we want to get as much information as possible, but what if some of the information is actually poison to us energetically, vibrationally? And we won't know. It may not be an instant thing. It may be like right now that you've got those activated codes within you, that you've just listened to someone do light language, for example, or something, or you've just listened to, this is weird. They're saying like a TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I don't really understand it. Sorry. You know, 46. So they're saying you may watch this really cute, oh, they're like, it's kittens. You're going to watch this really cute little video of kittens. And they're like, kittens, they're saying to me, kittens, like this is an example, right? So whatever this means to you. Really cute kittens that are licking a rat, right, and playing with the little rat, and, you know, like, oh, I bought a cat to solve our rat problem, and then, you know, you're watching this adorable kitten loving this rat, you know, the irony there is, you know, it's cute, it's classic, right? They're saying whatever is in the soundtrack to that little snippet, right, while you're just adoring and being open to like, oh, kittens, so cute, you know, I wouldn't know if I'd like to lick a rat like that, but, you know, like, oh, that must be so frustrating, you know, this is why we can't have good things, blah 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 blah, right? And so apparently when you're listening to these videos, so when you're watching these videos, they have soundtracks at the backs of them, through them, right? So, you know, to try and be entertaining. This is what they're talking about as well. So it's not just someone trying to manipulate you with pretend bullshit light language nonsense that has no codes in it apart from negative ones. It's also just watching these little videos with the sound backgrounds of them too. Okay, so the draconians are manipulating social media and social media platforms, and so they're saying be careful of what you're listening to. So potentially mute things and just be very mindful. Okay, have a session yourself, please, please. That would be super fantastic, and be able to ask, has there been something that you have listened to that has impacted you in a negative way, or how best to protect yourself? I know we're all protected, right? We are all protected until we use our free will to be unprotected and do something that could actually impact us. Can you think of a whole lot of things that people have used their free will thinking that they're going to be protected that hasn't really protected them? Anything recently publicly that people may have just done thinking it was going to protect them, right? And so our collectives know everything, right? They know stuff, but they also know how people can change using their free will to do certain extra naughty things. So there is a time period from when people use their free will to impact others. That impact then starts getting noticed by the collectives. Then they figure out where it came from and fix it that way, right? So that is why the nanotechnology isn't fully powered, and lots of people, lots of people aren't having extra points because of that technology, right? That was in the inoculations, right? So we understand that. We've heard that before. Okay, so anyway, you are so powerful, and your choices for everything you do, even just downtime where you're just watching classic little videos of kittens being all so cutesy and, you know, being compassionate and loving to an arch enemy, supposedly the rat, you know. It's interesting. I don't want anyone to go in fear. Ask for protection. Keep using your free will. And this is the other thing that the Ra Collective was saying. Use your free will and ask to talk to them. They will give you amazing dreams to be able to help you. Okay, so if you're still in between sessions with practitioners and you're wanting to make sure that you're fully protected, constantly talk to your guide saying, I'm going to be watching 15 hours nonstop of junk TV, protect me from this, because I do not want to have anything negative impacting me. And if I am exposing myself to something, put in high frequency ringing, or you set the intentions of what you want, and ask them, give me a sign when I shouldn't be listening to something. Give me a sign when this is not empowering me, blah, 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 right? Use your clever clog minds to use your free will perfectly to be able to ask for as much protection as possible. Okay, I think that would be clever, right? That would be really, really clever, especially now that you know the power of certain frequencies and sounds can actually really disempower you. And you know who they're going to target the most? The really big influencers in terms of individuals, right? You're a big fucking powerhouse that can hold a huge amount of positive energy because you've worked your ass off. You've done so much inner work. You're an amazing superstar and you shine bright. I think they're going to be targeting people who don't consider that just obnoxious sounds or jingles or adverts may actually be starting to impact you in certain ways. So not to scare anyone, but please remember to ask for protection, trust that you are protected, and drink high frequency water, which you've created, right? Which you've infused with the love, and you have poured that cup, and you know that you deserve high frequency water infused. You are so capable of high frequency source love energy that you can project that into your cup and be able to appreciate it and have so much gratitude for that high source frequency. I think you'll be fantastic. But again, do whatever makes you feel fantastic. Knowing also the difference, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated, isn't it? Knowing the difference between when you are super high vibrational and you're just collecting a whole lot of density, a whole lot of fog from heaps of other people because they've just been released from like sexual trauma. And so while they're finally being released from it, here you are being a great light worker, gobbling up their density, removing it from them physically out of their reach, because they can't handle it anymore. They shouldn't handle it anymore. It's too hot to touch. You as a big powerhouse, you're absorbing all that density and transmuting it for them, for everyone, right? It's like the collectives have squeezed out all this density, all this trauma, littered all over the streets, all over the supermarkets, everywhere, you know, and here we are doing our light working service and duty and collecting all that density because we know what to do with it, right? Because we know how to raise our frequency really high. We know how to ground ourselves, and we know how to not hold on to the density of emotions and start panicking, start going into worry and fear and all that stuff, right? We're so much more advanced than all that sort of stuff. And we know when we're doing it, we know when we're looping. But, you know, I really want you to acknowledge the emotions that are coming through. So don't resist it as well. So whatever is suddenly being presented to you, look at it. I wrote this little note down yesterday because I was having an epiphany with a friend, and I thought, gosh, this is what they want me to say tomorrow, which is don't ignore it, explore it. Okay? Don't ignore it. Don't ignore your feelings. Don't shove them back into the wardrobe for summer. See if it's in fashion then. Don't ignore your feelings. Don't ignore your situations that are around you. Face everything and explore it, because this is a great opportunity for you to be able to be, you know, really hunting closely for any inner work that may no longer serve you anymore, that you may not have been able to identify with before. So, you know, super purposeful to not ignore things, but to explore things. So, you know, that's another great thing. Don't try to hide from social media now that you're afraid that you could be, you know, added into this density that they're trying to manipulate you with. I believe everyone could overpower themselves and not go into that impact. You can just, you know, have strong protection, set strong intentions. I'm not going to be exposed to anything that no longer serves me. If we accidentally stumble across something that is going to impact us, what do? We overcome it. We grow from it and expand from it and heal from it. And not only are we learning, but we're teaching our collectives, our super guides, our subconsciouses, Bobby, the subconscious, whoever, we are teaching them how do we overcome it. Right? So then they know that they can assist others and support others and give others little epiphanies how to do stuff. So please never fear anything. Don't avoid anything. It never goes away if you avoid it. if you avoid it, it will never go away. It just sits there. Let's just purge, spring clean, everybody. Emotionally, physically, mentally, would be, a potential interesting thing. Another big thing that came out in this session was I asked, is there anyone else that would like to come into a channeling? And it was interesting because it was a consciousness of a planet. So interesting, isn't it? It's promising that when you come to its planet, it will be a nicer, slower pace for life. It's in the 3D, and it is a more relaxing, just a nice, even pace of life. And so it's all prepared for you. It's not the new Earth, it is another planet. And the client had no clue about this planet. I've heard some rumors about it, but I don't really know much because I haven't heard much about it in sessions, and I only want to focus on the information from sessions, right? I'm sick of being lied to by influencers and other people who pretend that they know what they're talking about. I'd rather hear from the sessions themselves. And the consciousness of this planet came in to say, hi-de-ho, but not quite hi-de-ho, but also to say, oh, I'm ready, I'm all ready for you, I'm all ready for those who want to come in and have this journey with me in this nice, slow pace. It seems quite nice, actually. And you're going to be able to find communities there in a 3D setting, which I thought was quite adorable, quite helpful. So I don't quite know how that's all going to work, but, we'll find out when I get a chance to do that channeling. I don't know whether I want to do it in a channeling or whether I want to do it in an official quantum session, but, choices galore. And it's going to be... it's just intriguing. I just will set out the intentions of whatever needs to be shared first and most, and when I will be guided to that. So, following all of the senses that I've been given to be able to be best of service and keeping going on, accepting everyone has these stepping stones that they need to journey through, because when you overcome and when you move forward from that stepping stone, because you thought it was really safe and secure and you could stay there forever, and you've realized that, the current is rising, you're needing to move forward. You can't be stuck in the middle of this river, right? From 3D to 5D. And I know that this is just a metaphor for your mindsets, but you really need to get your mindsets up to speed and cross that river, jump all those stepping stones, and really empower yourself along the way. Look back and be like, holy shit, I did it. I didn't fucking drown. Yes, got my pants a bit wet, but I fucking survived it. And look, I did it by myself. No one carried me. I had to find the right stepping stones. It looked a bit hairy now and then, but I did it myself. And that's going to be the ultimate empowerment, isn't it? Doing it yourself. Well, I would love it to all be like, holding hands and skipping together and blah, 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 blah. That sounds fucking fantastic. But the reality is we can't all do it in a big teamwork, because we're all at different stepping stones. We're at different stages. And so, we may be all jumping onto the same stepping stones at similar times. But ultimately it's an individual journey, as much as we will be on the other side clapping and celebrating people coming and empowering themselves and being independent, knowing the journey they've come in is all to empower them for better. So anyway, feels like a super potty mouth conversation today. Sorry, but I just wanted to express to you my concerns for a few things that have kind of been on my mind for a while, which is so interesting that when, suddenly a subconscious is telling me, I'm like, right, well, I can't ignore this, can I? I have to explore it, right? We will have to, we can't ignore things anymore. We have to explore things now. And, if that message is for you, it's definitely for me as well. So there it is, empowering. And I wanted to talk about something, a not so fantastic experience I had with a mega ego. Just someone who, there is a difference between being metaphysical and spiritual and being mentally unstable and unwell, right? And when you don't know, when you don't have discernment of which is which, and you have someone that's very mentally unstable, who is speaking metaphysics and speaking a whole lot of quantum stuff, it does take some time of observation to know what it is. Is this person mentally unwell, full of ego and delusions, or is this someone that's actually real? And when you deal with someone for a very long time, and then you've ignored it, and then you actually have to explore it with them to be able to say with much love, you don't have the same signature frequency as someone you're claiming to have had a lifetime to be incarnate with. You have to explain to them their delusions are just that. Have some sessions, explore it. It's just very challenging, isn't it? It's very challenging. But if you did not know, you just took someone's word on it, that they were some special being, and bought into their story and their narrative about how watched they are and how special they are and blah 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 blah, and everything's all secret codes, and they're decoding everything and they know it's just too rabbit holey for anyone, and they know what they're trying to sell people is bullshit, so they try to make it super complicated. And I think that's kind of a key when someone's trying to make things super complicated. It should be really basic and simple to be able to explain metaphysics in terms of 3D. We don't need to expand upon and know the answers of the universe, because we're in this lifetime focusing on 3D, right? What's 3D about? Emotions and mastering them and balancing them and experiencing all the lessons along the way from those opportunities to learn and grow from. And then when you grow from them, you can appreciate all of those slippery stones, all of those slippery, prickly cactuses that pushed you to move forward into the right direction of where you are at. And of course, once we get to the side of the fifth dimensional mindset, it's not just like, oh, that's it, retire, go back to source. No, it's continuation. It's always an evolutionary experience and expansion. The best thing about leaving 3D is that you leave the density and suddenly you want to expand, you want to grow, you want to explore instead of handbraking the crap out of yourself and others. So, woo! Fun times, absolute fun times. So whoever is still listening, pardon me for all the swears. I hope your ears aren't bleeding, and you should know me enough now to know where my agenda is and where my hopes and passions and desires for everyone to empower themselves truly lays. So it's just so disappointing when I hear in sessions that these other collectives are just being that. Because, come on now, people, this is not a game anymore. This is just getting too frustrating, and the collectives are finding it very annoying to be mucked around with. So, with us, it's all purposeful, it's all experiences, it's all lessons, blah, 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 blah. And we trust that it is. And I guess this is going to be the hardest slippery rope, hardest stepping stone for people to really be pushed out to grow from. So trust all is purposeful. But anyway, thanks for listening to my rant today. Fingers crossed for sunshine and love and light tomorrow.